Hello, everybody, and welcome to the unofficial Noncredible Podcast. I will practically be the host. I'm the live person who's live. This will also be going to a YouTube channel. That YouTube channel is set up. It's the Unofficial Noncredible Podcast. It's the only one that exists, so if you find something else, But we've got a couple other people in here tonight. We're trying to maybe get one more, so hang on tight. But what we are is we're practically just going to be, this episode, going over recent events and kind of just shitposting about it. Pretty much. We're going to be getting our personalities out. The idea of this is to be kind of like if you know Laserpig, Digi, and Animarchy's like NAFO roundtable, that was the original idea of this. So, without further ado, let's unmute myself and get back into the action.
He could also be deafened because he's introducing the stream.
I was doing exactly that.
Shit, I'm just that smart.
Yes,
Oh
you
boy.
are.
So smart.
So
This will go excellently.
I'm Frat House 23. I work in kind of tech, or trying to go into that. So, but also I have an affinity for a freedom of nations not being absolutely destroyed economically, and a quite vast knowledge of old military vehicles, and I'm catching up on newer ones. Now let's go to everybody else. Y'all sort yourselves out.
I'm Flippy Thrombo. I'm just a violent autist who likes things that go bang. I am, in the words of Zach Hazard, I'm a loser with a foul mouth, and I'm probably a pervert. Know more about guns and interpersonal relationships. Pee pee poo poo. I'm going to shit myself now.
For fuck's sake, Jesus.
Jackal here. I'm a college kid who likes fictional aircraft and combat vehicles.
That's it.
I am.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm Saddleback. I'm just an average person who knows jack shit about military.
No,
but
dog.
is just here for the memes and the fact that you can't talk military history without having both half the Anzacs.
Well, no.
Yeah, we're all here.
You're just the DEI hire.
Pretty much.
I'm Rogue Shadow. I am pretty average dude. I like things that go boom, zoom, and fly. And yeah, they found me on the street. I'm gonna be honest.
You're not the only one.
We just stole you. Literally a fucking van. Just roll up.
I like the implication. Anyway, QK, your turn.
And I'm just a redneck from the deep south who is somewhat literate. If that
You're
makes
just not
any sense.
unironically racist.
Yes.
Yeah,
sorry,
I'm not
you-
racist for once.
I've been
normal
I've
person.
been in the foothills. Not foothills.
Also,
not
if you
Tennessee,
cannot tell, I
Ohio.
have an occasional stutter. I cannot help it.
Well, that ain't your fault.
Bro was just
Alright.
born different.
All right. So, can we get back to what I brought up before we started the live, and I should have waited a minute.
What? The US are leaving Kosovo?
yeah.
They're leaving a lot of places.
I know, but Kosovo's the more
Yeah.
worrying one because, like I said, Muslim Albania and Orthodox Serbia both claim it, and both have not satisfactory organizations of peace operating inside of it.
Europe's just
Yeah.
going to have to kick up the slack.
Yeah.
Am I? correct me if
Yeah,
I-
my
correct me
nation
if
is
I'm wrong.
fucking going down the shitter of isolationism.
Alright.
Yeah, but honestly,
What? All right.
Look,
Saddleback.
we can create a silver lining on this. Oh, go.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Trump's whole thing no more wars? He seems pretty good at creating them.
You know what?
Good
yeah,
point.
Good point.
Yeah,
The,
you're not wrong.
so the way that he approaches it is no more wars that I have to like. It's the person that's like, they want to. They mistake peace with quiet.
Yeah.
Good
They don't
point.
want peace. They want quiet. They don't want to like they want other people's issues to not they. It's the person that if you try and express that you're having difficulties, they tell you to shut the fuck up. And that you don't know how it is. Like, you don't know what real people have. It's like you going to your mother and it's like, "Mother, I am hungry." And it's like, "There's children starving in Africa." And it's like, "Yeah, but I'm hungry." That doesn't. How am I
There's no
supposed to help the
difference.
starving kids in Africa?
So he's basically an abusive parent.
Yeah,
You can't be worse than my dad.
I don't know. Mine just hit me.
Possible.
Oh well.
Fucking hell.
Lore
I
update.
had good parents. I don't know what you guys had.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's really
moving
fucking
on.
weird online finding
Next
out that like,
slide.
it's not normal to have. It seems to not be normal to have good parents.
I mean, I got slapped around the head for being a dumbass sometimes, but that was the worst of it. I never got anything thrown at me.
Yeah.
My
Look,
dad's
my-
just a broadhead.
Imagine. No, instead of being thrown out the window, you have the window thrown at you.
Oh,
Look,
my
my-
lord.
They
Oh,
rip
Lord.
the window from the wall
Talking
and throw
about
it.
Trump,
That would be an interesting image.
Talking about Trump, I have a real spicy meme.
You got real
Oh.
Didn't he run up the mountain?
Did you throw
Alright,
pumpkin
let me-
spice at him?
No, but
That's
it
probably
is
how he got his
kind of
face that
funny.
colored. Send it into the live side chat.
One sec, I need to reset my app since it's on my tablet.
Oh.
But
Oh,
yeah,
no.
the U.S. pulling out of Kosovo and the U.S. with their whole antics regarding NATO and the Five Eyes Treaty and stuff like that. There is a silver lining to this. It means that other nations are now going to have to step up and develop their own means of, well, fulfilling the gap that the U.S. is leaving, and it will create like an environment where dependency on the US is now no longer an option. And so they will develop their own ways of dealing with in the case of NATO, especially things like OPSEC and like the information war for
Yeah.
that matter of like, technology and listening into people's shit and stuff.
Yeah.
mean,
It's
but-
cringy as hell that we've had to come to this.
And your Interpol.
Yeah.
Win, better late
But
than
you
fucking
gotta
never.
find a silver lining, otherwise you will just drive yourself nuts.
Don, you.
So I will say
What?
with
Oh.
that,
Yeah,
like,
I can't access the side chat.
Because it's technically
Shit.
because it's locked.
Yep.
Yeah, boy.
if you click into the okay, anyway, send it to me and
Yeah.
I'll put it in the side chat.
You.
Yeah,
Rebecca?
no, because it's locked and we don't have permissions to like enter this VC if we leave. It's like we can't access
Yeah.
it.
Discord and its locked function is just dumb.
It's
It's a pain.
Discord. When aren't they having a fucky wucky and accidentally
Wait.
blowing up the entire
Yes,
platform?
You said you put in this.
Yeah, I'll put it in the side chat for you. Just send it to
Okay.
me.
Let's-
But the one thing I'm worried about with the potential of a America pulling in and stuff is the fact that we are
Emboldening extremist organizations?
Yeah.
not
what-
no I was more worried about like the
I'm wondering if this is
something went
going
wrong.
to lead to
Yeah,
Europe's
okay.
first jihad of the century over in
No,
Kosovo.
so what I was gonna say is that international shipping, cause like I hate to say it, but no European country has a blue water navy that can step up to the task if they even have a blue water navy.
So it
Yeah.
looks the
I'm
United
sorry.
Kingdom,
Other
I'm
than
sorry,
which
Not
has
even
the
the
other
UK,
largest navy in the world.
France, Italy, and Britain exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
gotta think about this is that like
Well, they also don't
They
have
are-
the overseas
they-
obligations that America does.
America.
If they are going to deploy their navy, it's to tell people who are stealing their ships to stop stealing their ships.
Yeah, like
And
the thing
only
is,
those who are stealing this.
like
Mm.
the problem is that like one, the big issue is that like you got the French Navy, and their ships are blue water capable. The problem is that most of their navy is made up of defense, like more like Coast Guard ships.
They're more designed for in the Mediterranean.
Yeah, they're more
that's
designed
where-
for the
that's where
Mediterranean,
naval
or
combat's going to be if we're going to be in a war with Russia. Is going to
And-
be in the Mediterranean.
Yeah.
also like you got the UK. I hate to say it, they've slipped on maintaining their navy.
Well, they've slipped on maintaining their military ever since.
Yeah, they've
Thatcher.
slipped on their military.
Although I will say there's one good thing
They
to come
have
out
slipped
of
on it, but at the same time, their navy is still more than capable to have the HMS Queen Elizabeth just materialize if it really fucking needs to.
it.
But if you're
although I will
dealing with Somali pirates, you don't need an aircraft carrier. You would just
Yeah.
need.
What do you mean?
Hey.
You don't need an aircraft carrier.
Yeah, you
You
got
could just
about-
yeah,
broadcast
you need a
Taylor
lot of
Swift
that.
and they run away because they just really hate Western music. And I mean, honestly, fair enough.
And to be fair, it's not like the Russians have an aircraft carrier.
Uh-huh.
Well, they have one, but
No,
it's
one
more of a
okay,
dr-
Always
at
on
this
fucking
point-
fire,
no,
that's the
at
joke.
but
this
it's more
point,
of a
it's
drop
a
dock
bridge.
carrier than anything.
It's just
Rein it
a
in.
barge at this point, really.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
more of a husk.
Like the thing is, like the U.S. is the only country in the world at the moment. So it could change, but the only country in the world at the moment that has a significant portion of their navy forward deployed.
Fair.
It's also because
Yeah.
they're one of the only nations that needs to have a substantial amount of their navy
So,
deployed
like,
at all times, because
my-
the U.S. has military bases across the world, and and in the case of the Navy's case, they have a bunch of bases spat across the Pacific Ocean,
My
as well
concern-
as one or two in the Persian Gulf.
so my
So
Yeah.
they need to have a large navy and have it everywhere. The British had the same back when they had their massive ass empire. They had one of the largest navies in the world because they had to have it that way so that they could keep their boats from not being blown up and stuff.
So what was more trying to say was that if like America fully pulls in on itself, what
Which,
would international
knowing our
shipping
president,
what would
probably will
international shipping look
try.
like at all? Because
Yeah, it would
international
definitely-
shipping what it would likely turn into is the hot zones. So say with what do you call is it the Horn of Africa?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
Somalia and Yemen and
Yeah.
and Eritrea are the Horn of yeah, okay.
I'm gonna
yeah.
assume
Okay,
I'm the most
according to the
quiet
Ethiopians,
here
according to
because
the Ethiopians,
I
they are still they still have a coastline. Just
Well,
there's
fair
a
enough.
country in the way of that.
But I do have one caveat I wanted to add about the whole British Navy thing. Yes, they are limited in what they can produce, what they currently have in the field. But I can say one positive thing to come out of this is the fact that for the first time in a long time, they have net positive recruitment.
That's good.
Oh damn, that's neat.
yeah, that
Yes.
but it doesn't really change going forward the fact that like for
You can't man a
About,
boat
like-
if you don't have people to put on it. What do you?
Hey,
You
hey,
do-
look at the
can't man a boat if
think
you don't have
I'm-
the boat.
look at
Yeah.
my-
Yep, I'm
Yeah,
saying
but you
what's
can't
going
man the boat if you
There's
don't
not
have the
nobody to put on the
manpower.
damn
It's
thing.
easier to build a boat than it is to try and drive recruitment. The
I-
And
ADF
also-
is having that exact problem right now.
I have found
And
a
also
name.
these recruits will take time to be trained, and especially for the more specialized roles. It's 4 years. Let's face it, Trump's only limited to 4 years. Touch wood. That is that lot quick enough for the military to get up and going?
Yeah, that's the thing that like
Look,
you're talking.
it is definitely scary to think what if the US just completely pulls out any and all support on an international platform. I don't think that that's going to happen, especially in a way that will impact or that will continue long term.
Yeah.
You got to remember, the president does not have absolute power the way that a lot of people think he does. They do have the president, or the seat of president does hold a substantial amount of power,
Yeah.
but they are also limited by the fact that they serve
They-
at the pleasure of Congress.
Yeah,
If
but
Yeah. as much
Congress
as Trump.
wants, if Congress wants, fuck, I can speak English great. If Congress wants, they can say that no, you are no longer fit to be president and throw him out.
yeah,
Yeah,
They've
but
done it
unfortunately-
before. That's what happened with Nixon, and that was what
Yeah.
happened with
Yes, but
Clinton.
that also requires them to have a goddamn spine.
And right now, a concerning amount is in a cult of personality.
I would like to point at the live side chat. What that the meme, the fucking image I just posted, is directly linked to this. If not Russian accent, why Russian accent shaped?
Like, Al, can you please unlock the live so I can actually look at the side
you
chat?
can't see it.
Oh.
Yeah, we still can't see it.
Okay.
Can't
You
see
can post
side
it, but we
chat because
can't
it's
see it.
locked, and we don't have we don't have permissions that allow us to enter or leave.
Yeah, we should have a position capable of entering all.
Add members. I
lives.
can add. So who's here? So Flu.
I will
Yeah.
say that
My ultimate opinion when it comes to the US under the current administration is it is very fucking scary, don't get me wrong,
But
because
we
there's a
only have-
lot of implications like given what is currently going on, but you also have to approach it with a level of rationalism.
Yeah, we only have 4 years.
You might not even have that. You have the midterm elections, and if he loses the midterm elections, well, he stops being president.
effectively, yeah, because if Congress has a major, because if Congress
And you
has a
gotta
major
you gotta remember, Congress moves slow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a.
They move
bureaucratic mess.
painfully slow because they are constantly in recess.
Okay, y'all
Plus,
should have
they're
access.
geriatric too.
So, and because the funny orange man has been pushing a lot of executive orders, and he has been pissing off a lot of people across the U.S., both blue and red state, he has managed to piss off both Texas and Alabama. To the point where Texas is refusing to mobilize its National Guard to the border with Mexico, despite Trump demanding that they do so.
Yeah.
Alabama is also pissy because they have been removing, or he's been trying to remove and fuck with grants regarding research and universities and stuff, which is one of Alabama's largest employment schemes. Like most of
I'm just looking at-
Alabama.
I'm
Most
just
of
looking at
Alabama is
the,
employed, at least in some capacity, within the universities and other research institutions across the state. So fucking with the money that they kind of rely on for this shit is obviously pissing them off. So it is entirely
But-
within the realm of possibility that we will see a very sudden shift in opinion on the funny orange man over the course of the next few months.
We're already seeing it.
That's what I
Yeah.
mean. Like we're already seeing a massive shift in opinion.
Not
Again,
only
a
that,
Texas representative was, yes, he was a Democrat, so I don't know, make your opinions on that, was already starting to pull up the paperwork to prepare for another impeachment.
Yeah, not
Um,
mention he did cut off he's cutting into Medicaid and Medicare. pretty
Yeah,
sure.
he's
Phasing
running.
off his own.
What he's doing
Hold
is
on,
he's
personality.
running
Does that
I'm just
stop
putting a
the-
screenshot in. This is the current party breakdown. It's actually a lot closer than I thought it was.
And there are 3
Yeah.
vacancies.
Yeah, it's really close.
There's not 3. There's 4.
The
There's
the,
4 vacancies now.
the big problem though that I feel people are worried about for the midterms is that like
He hasn't pissed
they
off
are-
enough people.
well no they're not just that is that they are putting in a lot of work to and trying to
Never mind. It
implement
might be.
things to
It
make
might be just
the,
3. I might be misremembering.
to-
But I'm thinking 4.
to-
This is from the U.S. government official website.
Okay, so 3 then.
yeah they are there is a lot of stuff going on potentially that to make the next election be like the midterms be a real clusterfuck.
Look, America is currently experiencing probably one of the most challenging times in terms of the political landscape they have seen in nearly 200 years.
So let me bring
And the
this.
start of our nation.
Let me bring this up. On average, the stability of a nation from birth to starting its downfall
averages about 250 years. The U.S. has existed for, I think it's 287 years?
No.
What's-
Next,
No, it's
next
existed
year
for
is
5
200.
seconds. Source, my nuts.
Next,
But
next
yeah,
year
around
is
200.
So here's the thing. One, that 250 years thing has been proven to be kind of just a very much a
148 years.
yeah. If you look at if you look at that, like the average lifespan of a country and stuff, it's kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because the United Kingdom still exists.
Yeah, like
But
The
it's
thing
had-
is-
Germany still
It's had
exists.
the United
France-
Kingdom has had multiple, like, severe, like, downturn that
Government changes?
overhauled the system.
Yeah, but the United Kingdom never. Well, yes and no.
Cromwell. Fucking,
The United.
You have
that was
the Romans.
Yeah,
over
but that's not a
England, you
downfall. That's a change in internal politics. It's not a
But there's
downfall. It's not the
chaos
fall of Rome.
It's
not the
chaos that
Visigoths, you know.
changes to that. So you're saying, right? When the king had ultimate power and then was forced to sign the Magna Carta because of utter chaos, that is not a major change that would credit itself as a new government.
no.
Is it
It's a
entering
major
the
change, but it doesn't delete the nation as a whole.
That's what. Yeah.
It's not like the
doesn't-
United Kingdom mysteriously then dissolved and
Hey,
became the United
so-
Kingdom.
Let me put it in the frame like this. So the moving from the Kingdom of France to revolutionary France, the revolutionaries destroyed every vestige of the Kingdom of France in terms of government and operability. They started from basically they started completely new, and that was the justification for why the U.S. refused to pay the debts owed for the revolution, because they signed that debt with the king. Well, everyone that was involved with the debts is gone.
You chop the head off the king.
Yeah, like they got rid of
The whole reign
everything.
of
And,
terror thing.
like
Yeah.
like meanwhile in the UK, when with their upheavals and stuff, one past beyond a certain point going into history, you just have a very different look of what a nation is
Yeah.
and
It's-
how
it's like-
nations operate.
It's like in the game of Civ, when you go from the first when you change government types in Civ, your nation's still there. It's just a different type of government.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it doesn't delete
like-
the nation. So yes, when Cromwell took over and started doing his funny shit, the United Kingdom experienced a massive shift on internal government and of government, but the United Kingdom did not dissolve.
Not Control Alt Delete.
Yeah, it didn't die. It changed. You see that
that's
with
the
France when they
core.
killed their king and replaced it with Napoleon, the original. Then you see it when they replaced Napoleon
Well, I
with
thought we were
the other
talking about Napoleon
Napoleon, but
actually.
not the second one. You saw it with Germany with the fact that it first off started as the German Confederation, which then turned into the North German
Empire.
Confederation, which then
Yeah.
turned into the German Empire. Then it became the
Then-
Weimar Republic. It went to the Funny Reich, and now it's the
Funny, right?
normal, and then now it's just the Federal Republic of Germany. The only
Yeah, it's-
time that you could argue that Germany dissolved was during the occupation era or phase, where it was split between the British, the French, the Americans, and the Soviets.
Yeah.
But that was only short-lived because then the Western
It
occupation turned
split.
into the FDR,
Yeah.
the Federal
Consolidation.
Deutsche Republik, and the Soviet occupation became the DDR, the
Okay.
Then
Democratic
around
Deutsche Republik.
1980s,
There is another
1990s.
time. There is another time. I just fucking had it in my head. Oh, the Rhine Confederation. When Napoleon
Confederation.
dismantled the Holy Roman Empire and the states dissolved into their own states, and then he created a rump state on the Rhine.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know much about Napoleonic War stuff. I know he went to Moscow and still fucking lost.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
there's an
what-
example. Here's the thing, like that's a good example
And-
because the HRE
Apparently
ruled a
he
lot of the
lost a... Actually, I want to quickly talk about this one, because this was something I learned, I think, yesterday. Apparently Napoleon had, like, a hunting thing during the peak of his military career, where he released a bunch of rabbits, and those rabbits apparently turned around and started charging at the line of infantry that he had set up, like, oh, go shoot some rabbits, have some fun, and they ran away. I don't know if this is true, but it's fucking funny.
Yeah, that is funny. Once
Yeah.
No,
And if it is true, that gives us vindication that no, Australia is not the only country that lost a war to animals, which we didn't. It was a culling campaign. It wasn't a war, it was literally...
How be a telling campaign when it's the Minister of Defence is the one in charge?
The Minister of Defense literally got 4 guys, a jeep, and some Lewis guns. Not even some, just one.
So what you're saying is a military formation.
Yeah.
Is it really a formation when it's 4 guys and a jeep and a
That's a
slab of
squad.
beer?
That's a squad.
I
That
mean-
is in fact a military organization.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
just a
and
low
was one of those-
sort military
Trumbo,
organization.
quick question: was one of those vehicles? Was one of those vehicles mounted with a Lewis gun?
Yes.
So it was basically the first shitty technical.
Yes.
It was basically a Halo co-op lobby.
Doesn't matter. That sounds like a war to me. It's a military
the fact that this
organization
emus and
that
Halo-
had an organized chain of command. Even if it
So what, you're
was
telling
just one lance corporal going directly to the damn defense minister.
It basically, and even
with an
then,
objective. That's a war.
I mean, Brumbo, are you telling me that they were killing emus in Halo Reach before Halo Reach was even a thing?
pretty much. And again, a lot of the actual quote-unquote fighting, if you will, was done by farmers. The Australian government quickly realized
So they raised citizen militia. What's the difference between them and the Volkssturm?
the difference is they weren't risen. The Australian government just said, you see all those emus that are on your land that you're really pissy about? Go
Yeah.
shoot them."
Yeah, you want to do?
Okay.
You want to know what they did with the funny youth? Hey, you see those enemies invading
the
you?
Australian
Go
government.
Shoot 'em.
The Australian government declared open season on emus.
Yeah, and the
That's not
German
a
government
war.
declared open season on Americans. What's the difference? It's just one of them shoots
And-
back at you.
And in the terms of the Jeep with the Lewis gun,
bruh.
emus can. Oh, let me go find their fucking running
let's-
speed.
It's 30. It's like 30 kilometers an hour, or something like that.
50
God,
kilometers
that
an
doesn't
hour at a
remind me of
maximum
the-
sprint.
So 30 miles an hour.
roughly.
Yeah, so an emu can go from 0 to 50 from the word go, and you were trying to keep up with that thing
So
on a Jeep
You ain't keeping up
off-road
with that.
with an unstabilized Lewis gun. I had this argument
so
with a bunch of
So
people.
a cavalry, so old school cavalry charging after retreating enemies.
Basically,
Yeah.
I mean,
You are
the
not.
fact-
You
I-
are
I
not
think simple
convincing me
history-
otherwise.
I think some bullshit
Oh.
history had the best animation of it.
Also,
I
I'm not
just
sorry for
really,
what I played the
really,
side
really hate the
Really
fact
should
that
be.
people use the whole "you lost a war to birds" thing is the same way people use other massive national issues about America
I know.
as a
I
like
know,
a.
right?
It's
Australia.
really
No,
I know, but-
Australia has some more funnier ones, like the fact that you guys are the only place where Prime Minister shit himself at a McDonald's.
we have a prime minister who
Not
shat
like
himself in an
right.
Engadine McDonald's in 1997. Another prime minister that decided to probably go spear fishing in up in Northern Territories and just disappear. We don't know where he went.
Gone.
Maybe he found Atlantis or something. We have a prime minister that lasted all of a week.
I'm not
We
surprised.
had it.
But
I mean, it's not like you're the first
let me-
ones to do
let
it.
me point this
Wait,
out
are you
to
telling me?
Let me
Are
back-
you telling me that the
I mean-
English wasn't the first to have a prime minister last less time than a cabbage?
Mm-hmm. Let me see if I can go find them. It was about
I
a
mean,
week.
to be fair, the U.S., as well as a lot of countries, they also have their own fucky history.
Yeah, we had a
So,
president
I think
last
Australian
year.
don't
like-
feel bad.
I'm pretty sure one of our presidents got took out by some fucking cherries.
See,
So I
Um,
found one. So we had a prime minister. Wow, we had a lot of prime ministers up until John Curtin.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Good God.
I mean, that's what happens
So-
when prisoners get political power.
So
Yeah.
we had.
I mean, a lot of people think that Australia was the first attempt at
It's
the
America.
British deciding to get rid of all their criminals by sending them to another land far away from here.
Let's just ignore the fact that Georgia
Australia was not.
the penal
Yeah.
colony for.
Georgia was a
Yeah.
fucking penal colony.
Yeah, Georgia and I think Georgia, Virginia, and Maryland were all penal colonies. I think.
The only reason
That's
Australia
where I'm
became a
from.
penal colony is because you had your war for independence, and the British now no longer had somewhere to send all those people it didn't really like. So they sent them to the most inhospitable part of the planet.
No,
Yeah, that
officially,
sounds
So
the
about
only
yeah,
one-
by the way, we found a new spider.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
yeah.
the big boy,
good
The
lord.
Newcastle,
the,
yeah, the
Newcastle big boy,
It
which is
is
the deadliest
twice-
spider on Earth.
It is
because
it is double it is double the size of the
Of the
Sydney funnel web.
Yes,
which was
I've seen the same
previously
video.
the most deadliest
I'm not
spider on Earth.
surprised in this-
But what's scarier is it can make
It's-
itself small enough that it fits within. It can make itself about the same size, if not slightly smaller than a funnel web.
Can I also say this?
Oh,
It also has armor-piercing rounds. Its fangs
Yeah.
can pierce boot leather.
I mean, the funnel web could do that as well.
Yeah, it's the same setup as the funnel web, but bigger.
Creatures.
I mean, to be fair,
Then again, North America has
Australia
more.
has a long list of fucky shit that I don't know how to explain, and or do I want to go anywhere near.
And-
Then
I
again,
wanna
the
eventually
biggest
move to
spider in
Australia.
America is the brown
Oh,
recluse.
dog.
Oh, I hate
Don't
them.
use
I
that.
hate them
and
fuckers.
also,
I live in their territory, and every time I open my mailbox or go into a cupboard or fucking hell go into my bathroom, I gotta like scan the corners, going,
Like,
any of there
Thornbow,
gonna
do you know
bite
about
my
the brown
tail and make me
recluse?
lose it?
Can I just
Like-
say, this Putin's secret villa doesn't look right. There's not enough ERA.
I
Okay.
asked, is that enough fucking guards for Putin? Because if you look, there's a few Gmod people holding shotguns, and if you look at the very window, like the center window of the
Yeah.
house, you might be able to pick out G-Man, which is acting as Vladimir Putin. I add very little detail like that. I even added ZSU fucking anti-aircraft guns.
Oh god.
also, Rocha, what the hell?
Can I just quickly say that with Trump doing his thing, is like last time a president went fully isolationist, 9/11 happened. What the fuck is going to happen this time?
We didn't go full isolation.
Your guess
Remember,
is
we
good
touched
as fucking
Iraq.
Yeah,
Well,
no, the last
I
time
think
we
what he was saying
pushed-
was you were going full isolationist, and the towers got struck, so you went G-Watt.
No, Bush W didn't want to take us out of the world. He just was a president that was more. He just wanted to have his term be focused on domestic issues.
Yeah, so he was
As he-
looking more internally, so which can
Yeah,
be
he-
considered a
like-
form of isolationism. It's just not
But he wasn't gonna-
extreme isolationism.
He
Yeah,
wasn't
it's
going to
just-
be pulling. He wasn't going to be doing any of the stuff that like Trump's doing or that we did back in the 30s when we were isolationist. And because really, if you go back to the last time we were truly isolationist, someone touched our boats.
Yeah.
And you know what happened?
Blame
now.
the Maine
Go touch
on
boats.
Spain. Anyway, I found the shortest serving prime minister in Australian history.
What is it? 12
His
hours?
name, Frank Forday? Forday?
Frank
No, it's
Forday.
Forday.
Did he last 4
4
days?
7.
7.
Here's his
7
wiki
million.
article.
Oh,
So
don't worry.
What do you? What was his
assumed
major
the pri-
policies?
Major policies? Addressing the nation that the previous prime minister that he took. So he held, and the reason he held it for 7 days was that he was basically there purely because.
Oh, Curtin died.
Yeah, John Curtin died, and so he announced to the country, John Curtin is dead. Elections will be held. And then Ben Chifley was elected shortly afterwards, who would hold he would hold a full term. He'd actually hold 2 terms. Apparently.
Yeah.
Wait, what? That doesn't make sense. Each term is 4 years. What, did he get elected? What? I don't get this.
Did he die in office?
Oh, no,
In
that's...
office, 1940. No, he did not die in office. He was the 16th from 1945 to 1949. God, what the fuck? This guy was the Prime Minister of Australia, the Treasurer of Australia, leader of the he became leader when he was in Prime Minister. Okay.
Leader of the opposition, so that would have been...
But when he wasn't in, yeah,
That would have been...
So,
Yeah, no, that was after he lost the election. Oh, that's when the Liberal Party took over. Because, yes, here in Australia, when one party becomes, you know, the holds prime ministership, the other party becomes the opposition. Which basically it boils down to calling the other party a bunch of cringe-ass nay-nay babies. And then that's about it.
Oh, so the Democrats and
what the-
Republicans. Got it.
Yeah, basically, so at the moment, our next elections are coming up in like the next 2 months or something. There hasn't been a date that's been announced yet, but they're coming up soon.
correct me
And
if
so
I'm
at
wrong.
the moment, Peter Dutton, the leader of the opposition, is currently chucking a dummy spit about how the Labour Party is full of cringe-ass nay-nay babies, and that they should have just turbo-fixed the country in 5 seconds.
Got it.
I mean,
Yeah,
correct
welcome
me
to
if I'm wrong,
Australian
bro, your
politics. Party
system-
A screams at Party B for not fixing all the problems that they caused. And
Yeah,
then so Party A gets elected again, causes more fucky, shit goes sideways. I would like to create my own party if I could, but that takes too much effort.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Trumbo, but the way it works in New Zealand, Australia is a bit different to the US. So there are multiple parties, and after the election, the parties get together to try to form a government. They have to have over a certain percentage of the total seats.
Oh yeah, no, we don't have
yeah.
exclusively 2 parties per se. It's not like Party A, Party B. It's Party A, light version of Party A, Party B, light version of Party B, and maybe a third one that is just there.
So America is
so-
actually like that. It's just it's not as broad because we have the Libertarian Party, which is Party A. Let's say that's Republicans, but they're the extreme version of Party A. Then we have the Green
But
Party,
they don't
which
usually
is
pull enough voting. They don't pull enough.
they get
'cause-
about 2 seats, so they get enough to they have to form a government. If because of this, the Democrats will always have to form a government with the Green Party. It's just the Green Party is never mentioned. It's always just it's the Democrats.
Yeah.
That system does exist in the United States. It's just typically it's only 2 seats go to the Libertarians, and then 2 seats. No, it's typically about 2, maybe 3 seats sometimes goes to the Green Party.
Hey, is Trump? I'm just going through my YouTube Shorts recommendations. Has Trump ever actually spent time in the White House lately? Because he's gone back to Mar-a-Lago again.
He has, but
He
I
might-
don't-
Sat down.
No, he's probably realizing if things go south, that entire area is going to storm that fucking building and hang him.
Yeah.
Because you gotta remember, DC only voted 2% Republican.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, he's
having
still
a quick
saving-
Google search on the current composition of
I'm trying to find
the Australian
what-
Senate.
I'm trying to figure out
It
find
is-
out what seats come available for the Senate in the midterms, but anything doesn't seem to come up.
Oh my god, I hate these tables. Why can't I just see a stupid thing that makes more sense? Let's have a look at this one.
Are you using your government's website? Because
Okay,
if you are,
so...
No.
Alright,
I
here we
wouldn't
go.
trust
We've
shit
got
coming from the
the
U.S. government right now.
Parliamentary
Oh
Education Office.
no!
So the current government is the Australia Labor Party, with 77 members that make up the government, compared to 53 members that make up the opposition, which is a coalition made up of the Liberal Party of Australia, the Liberal National Party of Queensland, and the Nationals. We also have minor parties, which consists of a total we have 13. Okay, God, this is poorly phrased. So 77 members make up the government, which is Labour. We have 53 members that make up the opposition, which is made up of the Liberal Party of Australia and the Liberal National Party of Queensland with the Nationals. We have 3 minor parties that make up the Australian Greens, the Centre Alliance, and Qatar's Australia Party, as well as 13 independent members. One of which includes the woman who addressed to the entirety of the people of Australia as Stigmas of Australia.
Jesus fuck.
Oh god.
Yeah, I want you to imagine a government official using Zoomer terms. She called I think she called the Labour Party a bunch of yapaholics and capaholics as well. Mind you, this was because this woman made her own political party shortly after the addressment.
Oh, I'm
New
on
Zealand.
Twitter right
In
now.
New Zealand, we've got 6 parties that have seats. There are more than that parties than that, but they didn't get the required votes to get a seat because you need at least 5% of the vote, or an electorate seat. Yeah, so we're currently a National Act and NZ First coalition.
Oh, so I just found something relating to the fucking fact that he hasn't been at the White House. He has been in office for 47 days and has spent 24 of them on vacation.
Oh yeah, and at all that security things at taxpayer expense.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta really
Anyway,
wonder who's running the country because it doesn't seem to be Trump. It doesn't seem to be
It's
Vance. and
Elon.
there's
It's
one
fucking Elon, and you know it. That's why Trump is
Yeah.
That's why Trump is having to fucking make statements saying, "Hey, Elon, you're not allowed to do this no more." It's because he's running the fucking government, and he's decided not to, and he's letting fucking 19 and 20-year-olds do it, where they're banning the words "enola gay."
I mean, they were
All the fact that was literally the plane that blew up the
Yes!
Japanese at least once.
Yep.
Yeah.
not the sun
At
on the.
least once.
And JD,
They
no,
created the
I saw
highest
her in
recorded
person,
temperature in
and she is
Japanese
a
history.
beautiful lady.
can I say?
I have seen her in person.
Can I
Yes.
say something? JD Vance right now is crying because he decided to go. He decided to go on a walk with his 3-year-old daughter when he knew there were protesters around, and got surprised when the Secret Service had to chase protesters away from JD Vance. And he's saying, "Oh, they were chasing my daughter." No, JD, they were chasing you. You're the
They were
vice
chasing you.
president. If you don't want to be
So
the vice president, give it
So
up.
his reaction was this.
Yes. Yes. Very
Goes
much
to an
so.
area where there are a lot of people that are currently, at the very least, a little bit tilted. Watches as his security detail has to chase them off and gets very upset about it.
Look, remember, well, it's not as bad as the time that Trump used the Secret Service and the police to push
We don't want to
protesters
talk
off
about
Lafayette
that.
Square, so he could do a fucking
A Bible photo op.
a Bible photo op where he didn't even hold the Bible the right way up.
It says the Bible.
The Bible.
God, no,
You dare challenge the
Yeah,
word
no,
of the mighty Jimmy?
You question the words of the
You-
mighty Jimmy?
You question the
question
words
is,
of the mighty
What
Jimmy?
does that second B go anyway?
What?
Why is the Bible got two B's together? Like, where's the second B go? Does it go on vacation?
Yes.
Was it worked so fucking hard by just being put there?
No. So Trump has a Bible that pretty much is just a piece of American first propaganda, right? But if you flip to the back page, it says "Made in fucking China." I'm gonna have to cut this from the VOD.
Oh, we might get banned for that joke.
We have
We
strayed.
just got started. Yo.
We have
I like how
strayed.
I'm not even the reason for this either.
We have strayed
usually-
into the.
That's usually my thing. Is that it's me that says
Oh.
something stupid and everybody gets bullied.
No.
I'm so
It's
glad
all
it
of
wasn't me.
us not realizing what we're fucking doing.
Yeah,
God, you
let's just
suck.
remind ourselves,
Oh.
we are live.
Yes.
Hi, Mom.
Yeah.
Hi.
I haven't warned my family.
I'm
that
saying
we are
dumb
live
shit on the
because-
internet.
Oh, I'm
Yippee.
I'm gonna have to edit the VOD, and all I'm gonna fucking do is just mute this, play like I think the music is fucking non-copyright, and just throw that shit there, and just say, hey,
No, do the can.
what?
Play the can.
The can.
Yeah,
Dun,
just
dun,
play
dun,
play
dun,
Spanish
dun,
Flea, the one that because someone is saying it's stupid and we can't have that.
We are all
Sorry.
saying it's stupid.
Just put in Saddleback said a very naughty no.
Oh no.
Saddleback said a no, we're blowing him up.
Saddleback said a no.
Anyway,
So,
alright.
Sorry.
So
Saddleback said a
Let's,
no, and we
let's-
couldn't
let's-
contain ourselves.
let's refocus.
Oh.
Then I am currently drinking a water bottle upside down via punching a bunch of pinholes.
Shotgun.
so yeah.
You sound like you were getting drunk.
Yeah, so the House of Representatives here in Upside Down Land. So this isn't even the
I warned
Senate.
you. I warned you. I said it was here for memes and chaos.
Yes.
Yeah, let's.
Yes. Well.
Yeah.
Parliament and its peoples. I would like to know about the Senate, please. What's the Senate doing?
The Senate is.
What's the air defense doing?
What the air defense?
Oh, okay. That makes more sense as to why the That explains why. So here in so we have the Senate as well. So we have the House of Representatives, which is what I was looking at earlier, where Labor holds a majority. And then we have the Senate,
Oh god.
which the current government holds a 25 seats. There's a bunch of minor parties that make up 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 seats, 11 of which belong to the Greens, so that kind of explains why they have they had to coalition with them to make a majority government.
We haven't been banned yet.
We haven't been banned
there are
yet. Yeah.
Two Senate,
flew-
two seats
We
that
flew under the
belong
radar,
to
radar for that one.
There's two that belong to Pauline Hanson's One Nation. There's one that belongs to the Jacques Lambie Network.
Hey,
One that belongs to United Australia.
I'm gonna.
There's
I'm
one that
gonna be back.
belongs to Australia's Voice, which is the one that was set up by the woman who addressed the country as Sigmas of Australia. She was previously a Labour senator, so she stole a seat off of them, I guess. And then there is one that goes to the Gerard Rennick People's First. 4 independent seats, and 30 that make up the opposition, which is made up of the Liberal Party of Australia, the National Party of Queensland, and the Country Liberal Party. Never heard of them before. I never heard of them before, so I don't know. I guess they're there now. Oh yeah, there was a time where there was exactly one time where the Prime Minister was dismissed at the request of the monarch through the Governor General. We had a Prime Minister who was basically told to fuck off by the Queen.
Holy hell!
Okay, there is an actual. I think this is a show or something. I'm gonna have to look further into this. Hang on, I've got to put this in the side chat. But this is the cover for it, and oh Jesus Christ!
Oh no!
So apparently, it's a whole thing talking about.
Thank God we went with the Avatar system, because if that appeared, we would all be sent to the Shadow Realm.
Yeah. So
What do you
the
mean? It's
Prime Minister
actual-
in question was a man by the name of, God damn it, bring me back up. By the name of Gal Whitlam. He was Prime Minister between 1972 and 1975. He was dismissed during the 1975 Australian constitutional crisis.
Because of course you had one of those in Australia.
Yeah.
Because Australia
Anyway,
always has
what was-
things that go fucky. Well, the biggest thing our government had to face was bloody COVID.
Okay, so it looks like the reason for the constitutional crisis was because we had a deadlock. Okay.
What?
Yeah, so the neither Whitlam nor Kever ever suggested that they had been at any covert royal involvement, according to
So just
reserves the power that he would dismiss Whitlam government in September. Keir asked that he would.
God,
So-
what is this world? Why did we have to go down this timeline?
Oh
I don't know.
yeah,
I want because they
people
shot
were
that damn
people
gorilla.
were accusing.
I blame you, America.
We were supposed to have fusion power 5 years ago, man.
I
We could've
blame
had
you,
fusion
Americans.
power.
So yeah,
Here's the thing I
Whitlam was
remember.
dismissed,
been-
and people believe that the CIA was.
Americans who would have detonated it.
Do you remember some Harambe was almost 10 years ago.
But the dumbest thing I can think of
Here
involving
The
we
that
last
is,
major
is
Team
apparently
Fortress
a
2
chain
update was
top
7
four
years ago.
that wanted to make Harambe a fucking Force Ghost in Return of the Jedi. That was a fucking.
I
chain top
want Harambe's spirit to become the next president of the United States. No, president of the fucking world.
Jesus.
No.
I mean,
We are going to
think-
put him in charge of the bloody world. This could not
Alright.
end. This
I
can't end any worse than it currently is. We're already letting like stupid people
My
run the world. Might as well
friend,
get
it
the
can
knack of it.
always get worse. Do
I
not say
would've-
that.
I would
For the
rather
love of
It
have.
can.
whatever you believe in, do not say it can't possibly get worse. Please.
It can
Yeah,
only
please
no.
do
It
not
can't
say
get
that.
worse.
That
It
is
can
a
just
hex.
get funnier.
No,
Oh,
that is
God.
a fucking hex.
Oh man. I will say I'm
May
sorry.
God
but
have
I'm sorry for.
mercy on our wretched souls.
Oh,
Yeah, our souls. I'm pretty sure this world is damned in some way.
I mean, I'm.
I
I'm just-
mean, let's be real. Most people probably aren't going to go to heaven because in order to go to heaven, you'd have to be the most boring person on planet Earth. You would have to do you
Yeah.
you can't do funny stuff. And then
Oh, yeah.
wouldn't that mean that because the funny Jesus died for your your sins and you did but if you don't sin, wouldn't that mean that he died for nothing?
Yeah, I don't know.
No,
I don't
he
know.
depends.
Man died. He was
he
killed because he
already
said
did
some.
die for the original sin.
Mm.
Of just being
Man
around.
got put up on a cross, and the Romans thought that was the funniest shit on earth.
He put himself
And
on a
then we made
cross.
a
It was
religion
funny.
out of it. So I don't know. I
We
guess some
could-
people
in the
like the
words of,
religion,
Bill
some people
Wurtz,
don't. Stop killing
we
people,
could make a
man.
religion out of this.
You can make a religion out of this. No, don't.
Just imagine if it was
mean-
all one. Just imagine if it was all just one meme that got well out of control.
What if we just start believing in the spaghetti monster? Or I
I
don't
mean,
know, the
all
fucking
I'll
sun again.
say-
Bring back
I'll say-
Zoroastrianism.
With the state of the
Praise the
world,
damn sun.
with the state of the world, it's great just being here with the popcorn in New Zealand and watching it all fucking burn.
Hang
I
on,
mean,
I've
you
just
don't have
noticed
to worry
something.
about anything in New Zealand because apparently, according to
Oh.
some maps, you don't even exist.
Exactly.
Oh my
It's not like
fucking god.
if Trump just
Guys,
if,
I've just
Trump
realized
decides to
something.
fuck over everything, he'll forget that we exist because we
Also,
won't
I
even
just
talking
know
realized
about,
something. No, guys, I need to make an official
Musk.
announcement. My headset that I have, because I have the box for it, still, because I don't know. And I just noticed on the box, it is Discord certified.
Oh,
What headset do you have?
It's a Logitech G335.
Same one I've got.
See,
Yeah.
okay, so
So I guess according to the box, it's a certified for Discord, whatever the fuck that means.
mine's not, but mine's certified for a lot better things.
Yours is certified for hitting surface-to-air targets.
I could just imagine someone with some Turtle Beach
Also, talking
headphones
about
looking at the
our-
radar screen.
talking about the other shit show called the U.S. administration right now. Well, tangentially, any, yeah, not big news. Cybertruck is still a utter piece of shit.
Oh yeah.
Not
Turns out
surprising.
that a box. Actually, I do want to poke in on this a little bit. From what I've heard, Teslas used to be like really, really good and also actually cheap. But ever since
Yeah,
Elon Musk took over, things started shitting the bed.
Oh. Okay, so here's
yeah.
something I was actually talking with one of my friends in another server about before I came over here. So he was talking about the problem that he's having in Europe right now, trying to buy a car because of the upcoming
Yeah.
like moratoriums on buying new petrol cars. And the problem is that I'm convinced this is a big part of Musk, even though there's not proof currently, is that all the world seems to think the only solution for cars is full electrics.
Oh yeah.
And other than
Definitely.
Chinese brands, who's the biggest electric car manufacturer in the world?
Chinese brands which have reliability worse than a Cybertruck, to be honest.
That has,
But-
no, that has a
I-
reliability
I-
on par with a
like-
war-built T-34.
I
Like
have I have to address something. Y'all fucking did it when I went to go use the bathroom. Y'all fucking did it again. I'm gonna have to do another Saddleback did something funny, and I have to.
What the hell did we do now?
What did we do?
It was some religious shit about Jesus.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
Oh, him dying, and
Yeah.
so therefore...
Yeah, I'm gonna have
anyway.
to.
No, that wasn't me. That was Thrumbo.
Okay, then Thrumbo
No,
said a
sure.
funny, and
How is it?
Anyway,
I'm asking... whatever.
like
Look,
the
I'm
thing
gonna
is,
I'm
when it
gonna
comes
go
to, like,
back and listen to it when I'm sober.
I posed the question of if you if you live a life where you don't sin, and Jesus died for to absolve humanity of its sins, wouldn't that mean he now technically died for nothing?
No. The answer is no. He
Okay.
still died for the original sin.
Okay.
No, I didn't say he died for it. Well, I mean, wasn't.
Okay, then it's fine.
What was
then. It's
what was the
fine.
case
you were
anyway?
very-
All right.
Let's just move on.
Let's move
Ignore
on.
it.
Let's move on.
Just forget
Anyway,
about it.
Yeah.
Jesus
I now
died.
know
End of discussion.
context. I now know context.
Yeah,
We
no.
can-
Jesus
look,
died. Why?
It
I
can't
don't
be worse than
know.
the stuff I put in the side chat.
Yeah, no, that one is gonna have to be
Can we move
fucking
forward into something more interesting?
Yeah, can we go back to the US politics, which I thought was the initial reason why we were here?
That's
Run
my
away to
official answer.
Mar-a-Lago again.
What I was gonna
US
say.
political-
What I
US
was gonna say
political-
is.
Go ahead.
So what I was gonna say when it comes to like Teslas and stuff is that I believe the idea for what's currently going on with like how people are thinking about the future for cars and stuff, with just the only option being full electric, is that Tesla, in this case Elon, was hoping to be pretty much the only player.
I
I
tried to
wouldn't
get
put it
Monopoly, yeah.
past that funny South African man may have had a hand in convincing them, because we have evidence to suggest that he is also funding right-leaning parties across Europe. I know the
but-
French were trying to.
Didn't he fund the AFD?
Yes.
Yes.
I remember hearing things regarding that. I know the French were litigating him for funding the French far-right movement.
Oh God!
Not only is he throwing the salute, he's supporting the party. Got it.
Surprise,
But
surprise!
I don't
Going
know.
back
He's,
to the
he-
man is a-
politics.
you gotta keep in mind, Elon Musk
It's like
belongs to a mining baron family that made a lot of money through
Blood.
mining in South Africa, especially
He's a
under the
motivated
apartheid
workers.
government of South Africa.
So,
So,
what you're trying to say is he
he
got
is
a lot of
very
money
much-
through blood.
A lot of money through human rights violations. So he is predisposed by his upbringing to being not too keen about people of other race or of just other color.
Yeah.
Right, I can hear
The
a
song-
cougar moving around.
I've never met a nice
Alright.
South African comes to mind.
I've never met a nice South African.
Thing is, I've met plenty, but I have to admit, most of them are women.
Oh.
I've only met
okay.
one
Most
South
South Africans are women.
African, and look, he's polite, which is a higher bar to clear. It's surprisingly, look, the amount of people I meet on the internet that are absolutely insufferable bastards is so high that being polite is like record breaking.
Welcome to the internet.
Have a look around. So yeah.
No, Elon tried to make a monopoly in his market, and it hasn't worked out.
Are you sure?
Well, yeah, I mean, people were doing stuff where they've got.
He's not really made a monopoly so much as just made himself the most obvious piece of the pie.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there aren't that many
Yes, but all
companies
the
that are
other
making
major-
electric vehicles.
Yeah, because it's
devoted strictly to electric vehicles. Yes, he's one of the few. But I'm saying, in terms of making vehicles in general, making both gasoline and electric by the one company, there are multiple getting on that bandwagon, such as GM and Ford.
Yeah, other companies are starting to step up,
Then there's
which it'll be interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah.
Then there's Toyota, who decided that fully banking on hybrids.
yeah, and honestly, the Toyota, as someone who drives one of those for work, the Toyota hybrid's pretty good. It works.
Bro, what about this year's Toyota-thon?
I don't even know about deal with any of that shit.
You don't know what
Toyota-thon!
Toyota-thon is? The best and most the best American holiday there is, where you can get a brand new Toyota for 25% off.
You know what we really need to be focusing on for car development going forward?
What?
Hydrogen fuel cell.
Eh?
And getting well, here's the thing. Hydrogen fuel cell is possible. Also, can we be heard right now? Cause
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's Thrumbo. That's
Yeah, he's muted.
Definitely.
That's
Okay.
He's muted and
so
deafened.
no. So the thing is, like, what I'm
He's
getting
just
at
being
is
an
the
asshole.
So the thing
Did you
is,
hear that?
we know that lithium, not lithium, hydrogen fuel cell cars are possible and very fuel efficient and stuff. The problem is that, right now there's there's no point to making them because hydrogen is so expensive. So what we really should be working on less is trying to make full electric cars the next big thing, and working on getting hydrogen fuel
Hydrogen to
cells,
work?
What about
hydrogen down to a reasonable cost that people are willing to pay.
So I'm gonna suggest another option we use, and this one should be an Australian favorite. What about LPG? Good old propane.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean,
no joke,
that
no joke.
exists.
At my work, half the vehicles I put in, when I choose the engine, it will ask me, is it gas powered or compressed natural gas?
Yeah.
And I'm like, first of all, who the fuck
Both.
has who has a CNG Honda Accord? I want to meet this psycho.
I want one so bad. I love the idea of LPG. Like, yeah, it burns a little faster, but you can store so much in a car. It's a lot cheaper. It's a lot more health and environment conscious. Like, yeah, it's still gonna kill the environment, but we're never gonna step away from that. So what we should focus on is getting to a point where we can either have hybrids or have a fuel source, LPG, that is mass producible, which LPG is. And it's cheap to
That's
make
it.
too.
Wood gas.
Wood gas.
Let's go back
Run it
to
with a truck.
Let's get that.
manufactured gas.
I think the idea of someone driving a car while running a barbecue on the same gas tank is just the most Australian thing I've ever heard of.
It's in
That's
the
what we're
back
getting
of a
Santa Claus
fucking,
on now. Santa Claus is driving a rusty Holden Ute with a fucking wood gas generator.
Falcon Ute.
Making,
Yeah.
oh no, it's a Holden
Was
Ute.
it that
I want a
made-
Falcon.
The thing about
I-
natural gas, it replaced manufactured gas, which is
Okay,
insane.
I ask again. What country was it that made a bus powered by shit?
What?
What?
Probably
Oh,
Shitland. I don't know.
Probably North Korea.
Shitland,
That
yeah.
sounds like a North Korea thing.
No, I remember. I remember someone did that.
Bus power.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say it's run by shit. It's run by methane
Oh,
gas.
exactly.
The
and
bio
shit
bus.
is-
The United Kingdom.
Oh yeah, no, that was the whole thing. Was they were trying to make?
It runs on
um,
literal human shit.
Yeah, no, this was when the absolute total greenies were in charge of the government, and yeah, no, they did all sorts of shit like that, quite literally.
I mean, I know there are households out there in like rural parts of the world where they run like their cooking stuff off of the manure of the animals that they have, because you can use because they
methane. Yeah.
yeah, they are high in methane. They just emit that stuff as it decomposes.
Apparently, the poo bus is actually a really good alternative.
I mean,
Yeah,
it works. It runs
No,
off of the
it was-
byproduct
it was
of
made-
literal shit.
It was made at a time where the British government was throwing shit at the wall and sees what sticks. Quite literally.
And it worked, and it was efficient at its job. And it didn't smell like shit.
Yeah,
No,
because
because
methane
you
actually
burn-
burns. Methane actually burns odorlessly.
Fairly, yeah, pretty
Actually,
clean.
Yeah.
It's the same with LNG. The reason they put something in it is so that people can smell it when it leaks, so they don't blow themselves up.
Yeah, that's why it
Doesn't
smells
work
like
100%
yucky
of the
because
time, but
we had because they had a really massive house explosion or gas explosion that happened at some point, and they managed to determine that the reason was because, well, they didn't know that it was leaking because they couldn't smell anything because it was odorless. So they're like, oh, I would have mixed some stuff in that makes it smell very foul, so that you could notice that it is obviously leaking.
hydrogen sulfide, I believe, is what they use.
I don't know. I'm not a
Yeah.
Yeah,
chemist.
that's why it smells like rotten eggs.
Yeah, hydrogen sulfide. Then I know that one. I know that chemical very well.
Yeah. Why do you
Well,
know
We,
that?
we
Okay,
sell for it
so
constantly in the
speaking-
wine industry.
So something of chemicals. Would you like to know something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Kind of. So, yeah, how many? You guys have worked with your cars before, right?
I
Yeah,
haven't.
Enjoy
I don't have
one.
one.
My
Do you know what brake
experience-
clean is?
No.
Oh, it's some nasty fucking
Okay,
degreaser, isn't
No,
it?
so if you try and burn, if you try and light on fire the chlorinated brake clean, do you know what chemical you produce by doing that?
Chlorine
Oh, God.
gas.
Nope. Worse.
Oh, Jesus.
How'd yourself?
Phosgene.
Oh.
Oh.
You, mind you, it takes like 1 part per million to like give you irreparable damage to your lungs.
A milligram per liter, in other words, yeah. Still,
Yeah,
sorry,
it
parts
is.
per million, I immediately convert to milligrams per liter. That's just part of my background. And
Yeah, like phosgene gas is some of the nastiest chemical weapons ever made. And you can just go to your auto parts store and accidentally make it. You can't make usable version of it. It's just you can make enough to kill
kill
yourself.
someone. Jesus.
I
fuck.
mean, that's a cool cult way to go.
Burn a
I
bunch
mean,
of brake clean.
I might
Uh.
have to mute that part because that is kind of giving instructions on how to kill people.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
fair.
can just look. Here's the thing: you can just look at it. It's on Wikipedia.
Yeah, but if you don't know what to look up,
Yeah, there's certain things you can't say on YouTube and Twitch. So
yeah,
Don't make chemical weapons. That should go without premise.
don't make
Don't make
him-
chemical weapons or
Don't
weapons of mass
break the
destruction.
Geneva
Don't-
Conventions.
Let me just.
Don't make weapons unless you're qualified to do so.
I
Let me
can't
just
believe
also
this
say,
is a
brake
fucking
clean is
disclaimer.
non-flammable, so you have to really be trying to do it.
That's beside the point.
Yeah, don't teach little Timmy how to make things that will kill people.
don't let people
Timmy
find out how to
shouldn't be
become
taught how to
dumb.
make deadly things, unless they are in a profession where that is literally their job.
Look, your phosgene gas is nothing compared to laser kiwi.
You know what?
You know what? If whatever this gas was isn't comparable to the power
It's
of
already
the sun.
been said.
Can we go back to the what's meant to be the title of this freaky stream?
We
On
are.
the state of the onion. Well, onions grow in the ground.
Yeah, no,
Mm.
they also have
They
layers.
have
I've heard.
layers.
Yeah,
Yeah, they have layers.
they're also like an ogre that is currently. The film has been delayed. The internet has done its job. We have successfully bullied another animation studio into putting a halt on a fucking movie because the animation
Shrek
sucked.
one? What was this? The Shrek new
Shrek
Shrek
5,
movie that was
Shrek 5 is being
Yo,
delayed.
I saw so many
I actually
things
haven't
about that.
seen the trailer or anything like
And
that.
I can't remember which movie it was, but it's like, look what they've done to my boy.
Yeah.
Sonic.
Look what they come to my boy.
boy.
Yeah, it was Sonic. That was the first one we bullied.
I genuinely reckon that there is a small possibility that they made that trailer intentionally bad to
drive up.
create publicity for it.
Because it wasn't going to get any anyway.
Hmm.
No, it was just an excuse to give them more time.
yeah, fair enough.
Okay.
Anyway,
Speaking of bad movies, is anyone going to go see the Minecraft movie to just see how bad it actually is?
No, because I refuse
I
to
don't really go
give
for
money
music
to a
and
studio that
damn
attempted to
theater.
copyright music that had no business copywriting.
Oh,
See, here's
yeah.
the thing.
like I said, I don't go.
I know. I remember hearing that they
Using
backed
for
out on it because the
movies.
backlash was so volatile that they were like, "We just can't do this." But I don't agree with that on the premise. Whether that is entirely within their legal
So,
right or
okay,
not, I don't know.
It
I'm not
wasn't
legally.
it wasn't Warner Brothers that copyrighted it. It was Warner Chappell, which is the lawyer group that Warner Brothers
I
has.
have a question
And
now.
they operate externally from Warner Brothers. When Warner
I
have
Brothers
a- I have
found
a
out, they
question
put
now,
the fist to the
I need to
lawyers and said,
ask
"Fucking
this.
stop."
Yeah,
I need to
they
ask this question. What the hell does any of this have to do with non-credible defense?
We
It's
were
because
on the subject, but
the
we're
internet
the
is
kids
powerful.
table.
The internet is
Yeah.
No, we're
powerful.
not.
Fair enough. The subject, yeah, it's gone. It's
We left the subject somewhere over the Atlantic.
Yeah.
It got
Uh,
lost in shipping.
But just like
Lost
real
shipping.
non-credible defense, the memes change almost every other hour.
Fair enough.
And I remember,
been
and
on
I do
Yeah.
remember some
Yeah,
Shrek
I wanna
memes
talk
coming
about-
out.
What's this I hear about the Polish wanting to build an army of Europe?
Yes.
Well, Poland has
Wanted that forever.
Poland has been casually rearming under the never again thing, because I don't know if you've read into a history book or not. Poland has spent
they're the
quite a
speed
lot of
bump of Eastern
time
Europe.
over the past
They're the
100
2.5 centuries being occupied by multiple powers. Some of those were the funny guys who wore swastikas. Then it was basically running
God.
backwards from current day.
yeah, that was on NCD. I just jumped on NCD and I saw this and I just went add to.
So, working backwards from modern day, the Polish people experienced occupation and repression by the Soviet Union, the Onion again, but paired with the funny guys with Swazi stickers.
Oh.
The Imperial Germans, the Imperial Russians, and the Austrians.
What cluster?
Poland spent a lot of time after the partition of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth under occupation by multiple powers, and during the Onion and the funny Nazis experienced a lot of human rights violations. So the Polish, after this, said never again.
Yeah.
And so they are the second largest operator of Abrams and Patriots outside of the Americans. I'm pretty sure there was talk about them building their own.
Yeah.
There's
There
also talk about them
I don't know if
getting
they
nukes
are building
as
them,
well,
but
so
that's...
I don't
yeah.
think they're gonna be allowed to build them under Trump, which means Ryan Mittal right now is licking their fucking lips.
I think the Polish will just do what they did with the T-72. They'll just make they'll make their own variant based off of the stuff they already have.
Yeah, but they need U.S. permission to do that,
Digest.
and they can't. So, like I said, Ryan Mittal is licking their fucking lips because Poland's gonna have to look for an alternative.
Well, the Russians didn't give them permission to make T-72s.
Drumbo, look at the side chat. Sorry,
They just made it. They made it the PLZ-91, and it was basically a T-70. The
Don't
Yugoslavs
fucking
did the
talk,
same with the M84. It's a T-72, but domestic built, and so actually a funny little thing about the M84s. I think that's what they are. The Yugo T-72s, the ones that were built by the Yugoslavs. A lot of the parts that didn't have to be steel were just opted out for aluminum. So it actually made the tank noticeably lighter than the T-72.
That sounds
Made
like
it slightly better.
I was about to say that sounds like a good improvement.
It's an improvement over the T-72 because it makes a heavy boy slightly less heavy.
What I was wanting to point out is the fact that Poland, they're apparently, according to Tusk, their end goal is an army of about 500,000,
Yeah.
and potentially looking for some kind of strategic deterrent, whether it be through nuclear weapons or something else along those lines.
The
what
Polish
i-
do
what
not
is-
want to be invaded by another power ever again.
What is the-
Also, they are also looking into buying from South Korea at some point.
Oh, they are buying from South Korea.
I
Specifically-
That is not new.
I love the
Yeah.
South Korean, like their main battle tank. I can't
The
remember.
K2 Black Panther.
Yes, because it's got a round that is. Motherfucker acts like. They got a round that acts like a javelin. And I
Hell
love
yeah.
it.
They have top attack.
Yeah, they have a top attack APC armor piercing Sabo round.
Hell yeah.
It is hilarious as shit to me
Like, these fuckers are
that
gaming.
that North Korea is having a tank that doesn't have gyroscopic
Not
stabilization,
mention,
and
not mention
look
the
Chinese
KF-21, which well, not the sexiest fighter. Is
North Korea has been behind on the military arms race for a long time because they rely on.
I mean,
Well,
you guys
prior
are
to the
forgetting.
collapse of the Onion, they relied on Soviet and Chinese stuff.
You forget that the whole one of the parts of the agreement of sending North Korean troops to fight in Ukraine was that the North Koreans would get access to advanced Russian technology.
They got so the North Koreans have now been
Yeah.
given.
Cold
They've
War
been
equipment.
given. Yeah, they've been given refurbished MiG-29As.
no,
And they
no,
call that
no, no, no,
advanced.
no, no. What you're not realizing is this is just the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact resources for technology. North Korea's traded a resource for technology.
Well, yeah, the North Koreans don't necessarily have the capacity to just make their own domestically.
If they stop building nukes, they do.
Well, they might have
yeah.
extra resources. Well, yes and no.
But
So you're
Yeah,
saying
But
if
then
then
70
they also run into
is
the
very vertical.
run into the challenge of having to find the expertise to do that. That's why Russia has been having massive issues since the collapse of the Union to make new stuff. That's why the T-14 is in very limited numbers, and we don't even know how good it is, if it's any good. Russia
Remember, the
loves
T-14
to advertise that this thing is capable of. To
Yeah.
quote the funny pig, Russia loves to chest thump and say that our tanks are capable of defeating anything the Americans could have, and then like
Oh,
we
yeah,
have
but-
no actual
the number
of missions
data
not
to back it up.
This is not one of
The
them.
T-14 is the most advanced tank in the world because it uses an autoloader.
and the
Just ignore
Leclerc,
the fact that
the
Leclerc
most
exists
advanced.
and have an autoloader that works faster than the fastest of Russian
Here's the thing.
autoloaders.
Here's the thing.
Meanwhile,
they claim that the Leclerc, they claim that the damn Leclerc is the most advanced Western
Yeah.
tank simply because it has an autoloader.
Yeah, exactly.
That's they
Which
can.
is, and the funny thing is like, yes, you have it, Russia. You have an autoloader that loads a shell every 10 seconds. Meanwhile, the qualifying time for a loader in an Abrams is 7 seconds.
American
And-
muscle.
Which
I'm
can
like,
be as
the American twink can load fast, baby.
And like, my favorite
Well, not-
argument against that, is then they go, but oh yeah, but the Russian tanks can do that every time consistently. An American loader would get tired, and it's like, as you're firing that many shells, shit has really hit the fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, so,
will
like-
I will give the carousel autoloaders the fact that they can keep or they can maintain sustained fire,
As
which
long as
is
they don't jam.
what. Well, assuming it doesn't jam, yeah.
Yeah.
Which then,
But
if it jams,
the
they have to go
likelihood
back
of
to
it
default.
jamming, if it is under proper maintenance, it jams as
Russia.
often as any other machine.
You're forgetting
But
it's
that's
Russia.
the problem. You're requiring it to be maintained, so that can be a lot more challenging, especially with current Russian logistics. The Soviet MBTs, such as the T-90 and the T-80 and the T-72 and the T-64, were designed around the idea of cramming as much ammunition into these things as possible and having them throw that ammunition out consistently as fast as possible. Soviet MBTs were designed for a very specific type of warfare that does not exist anymore. They were
Yeah,
designed
George, you
in a
got a point.
time where precision-guided munitions was in its infancy.
Yeah.
So yes, the Americans were developing, what do you call it? They were developing your Mavericks and whatnot. So
Yeah, Mavericks, Hellfire.
by the So by the time that games like Warno take place, where it's like, 1989 and whatnot, precision-guided munitions exists. But you gotta remember, developing this shit takes time, and we don't really know what the other
Yeah.
guy is going to have by the time that this thing is ready. So we just have to
Like,
work
the
with what we
best,
know.
like the most common ATGM you're gonna find in the air is probably not gonna be a Maverick. More likely gonna be something like a helicopter-mounted tow.
Yeah, most
mean,
of the
uh,
you were dealing, and again, at least the frontal armor of most Soviet MBTs, and I don't know enough about Western MBTs at the time, outside of the fact that the Abrams existed. But most of the MBTs that were designed with composite armor could
Yeah.
reasonably eat an ATGM of the time frame. A T-72 would reasonably be able to take on a normal tow. Maybe not necessarily a tow 2A, because it's a tandem round and so it has better penetration, I think. Maybe.
No, tandem round are specifically meant to defeat things like composite.
They're meant to defeat
and
ERA, but
Yeah, they're meant to defeat
No.
ERA because they detonate. They
But
have the initial warhead hits the ERA, blows that up, while the second warhead hits the actual armor and destroys everything inside the tank.
punches straight through.
I'd be under the assumption though that if the first the first warhead goes off on on the armor, like the composite armor, it could the second warhead would then, the rest of the charge would then go through whatever hasn't been chewed up by the first one. I'm running under assumptions here. I obviously don't know. This is just theorizing.
Yeah.
But anyway, the
Responding
T-72, most like the T-64 and the T-72, their composite armor was capable of dealing with most ATGMs of its time period, but the same could be
Time's
said
long
for the
past.
Abrams as well, and the Leopard 2s.
And not mention,
I don't know
Seems
about British tanks. British tanks are weird. I don't understand them.
yeah, me neither.
Brits are
But,
weird, yeah.
but another thing to take into account is, well, as Wazepig said in his Panzer Paradox video, there's also things like soft factors.
Oh yeah, no. There are
Yeah.
also obviously other factors that can make or
Like-
break a tank.
Like maintenance.
Ergonomics wise, aren't
Yes,
Abrams
the
like
problem is
really good?
Abrams,
ergonomics?
Abrams and Challengers, like the Challenger 2 and stuff, are some of the most survivable tanks in the world. So,
Oh, yeah.
in terms of survivability, the Western tanks tend to stack out. In
Oh, yeah,
terms
and
of
also-
comfortability and room, a similar situation arises. One of the biggest problems that the T-72 especially has is it cuts the fighting compartment in half.
Oh yeah.
Because of the autoloader.
Also, the problem is because it's an autoloader and things, and that brings us also to the Armata slightly because they can't access the turret. That's a big soft factor.
Oh
they
yeah,
have
that
a
would be a
jam,
very
it's-
big
it's
problem
a
that
jam
the
because,
T-14
I
will
don't know.
encounter if there's no
Yeah,
easy
if the
accessibility
turret
to the
or
autoloader.
If the
then
autoloader
you will run
mechanism
into the
gets
issue
damaged,
that-
it's gonna have to at least retreat to like the fob, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, at least. And that's the thing is with I think with the French Leclerc. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. At least with the Leclerc, I think there's still ways for it to be manually loaded if the autoloader
Yeah, no,
is
there
damaged.
it is. It's a cartridge loader. You just
Yeah, it's
you
a
shove
it's a
you
cassette
shove
loader.
you shove the cartridge in like you would be like putting a thing in a bolt action.
Yeah, basically a little door opens up and it brings out like this big long bar and it shoves the round in. So if there
Yeah,
is if the ammunition if ammunition can be accessed outside of this, or if there is ammo available elsewhere in the tank, then you could reasonably just pop the breach
door
open,
open.
and then
Yeah, and you
insert the round.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is at least with the French
Jesus
tank, you could probably just access the thing and then load it manually if the autoloader does break. So you can at least
Yeah.
fire a few shells to finish out the battle. So you don't.
Yeah, you
lose
can
that
fire,
power.
Or-
you can
or more
fire
likely-
rounds, but you would also likely, or you'd be more likely if the autoloader fails.
Firing
It
while
is either
retreating.
Yeah, you would deploy smoke and retreat.
And just
So
covering
you
your
wouldn't
ass.
necessarily need to worry about, in the case of T-70, or in case of the T-72 and the T-64, the T-80 and the T-90s, because they're the ones that Russia is predominantly using in Ukraine.
And they've lost a heap of.
Well, yeah, they've lost a lot of. Tank losses are huge.
10,000. We have crossed the 10,000 mark, which means the entire Soviet pre-war active tank fleet, pre-war fleet, gone.
But didn't we already pass that, though?
No. We passed what was pretty much, because the active fleet was split into 3. Can be go if minor repairs, can be go if it needs a part replaced. We had gone through those 2, the first 2. We have now gone through all 3 stages. What is there is what is left until they get more T-55s out of the mothballs.
I mean, how much?
dear.
I mean, to be fair, that's the Ukrainians' numbers. That's what they're reporting.
They might be overinflated a little bit, but they're more accurate than what Russia is willing to admit.
Well, this is the
Mine.
Ukrainian
The
numbers.
Oryx,
This is Ukrainian numbers, and if you're ever in Laserpig server, which I still am, it's Orchidins or whatever his name is. He actually goes through, and his job is to verify losses for the government.
Here we go. I've got the Russian tanks destroyed, damaged, and all that.
And those are his numbers.
This is from.
Okay, so this is something that was vetted by someone else. Okay,
yes,
I
this
do
is
know
vetted.
that the Ukrainians.
I've also got Oryx here.
But yeah,
Sorry,
the Ukrainians are more honest with their overall numbers. Yes, they might be a little. Because the other thing is this is a active war, so getting precise numbers is very hard.
But you're forgetting how
You
many
gotta remember,
drones
we
are
don't
in the
have an
air.
exact number for the amount of people that died in World War II or the amount of vehicles and stuff like that. We have pretty good numbers, but they're not precise.
But you're not realizing. Here's the fact with this: there are so many UAVs in the air. You can pretty much, if you know what Telegram channels to watch, you can just have a basic, not 1-to-1 live feed. You might be 2 hours off, but you can have a live feed of what happens on the entire front line going north to south.
Hey, I've got the Oryx numbers here. So Oryx says there are 3,786 destroyed tanks, 2,714 damaged, 157 abandoned. 3,786 tanks lost, 2,714 destroyed, 157 damaged, 381 abandoned, captured 534.
a lot of tanks, basically.
When it comes to capture,
and these are
that
just
means-
visually confirmed losses. This is still a large number.
Oh, this is still insane. I mean, the Russian tank production, they're saying the T90M, I'm just having a look here. Yeah, the Russians are claiming 160 T90Ms are being produced each year. 160 is nowhere near enough.
To replace what they've actually visually confirmed lost.
And also
we can
here's the
safely
thing.
say that
Looking at armored vehicles as a whole,
Not mention
total
loss of
armored
crew.
lost number of vehicles is they've lost 11,951 armored vehicles. That's tanks, AFVs, IFVs, APCs, and MRAPs all combined.
Yeah.
Which is
Of those,
insane.
9,062 destroyed, 367 damaged, 986 abandoned, and 1,536 captured.
That is insane. Imagine how many crew are lost.
Western
Well,
yeah,
MBTs
and
are
then-
really good. Actually, that's just reminded me. There was an instance. I don't remember the full details of the instance, but there was a British Challenger 2 that was over in, I believe it was Iraq, and it got stuck in a urban combat scenario where it was being shot at from multiple directions with RPGs. It managed to tank, I think it was 150 direct hits from RPGs from multiple angles and still drove itself
Damn.
back home.
Oh yeah, no. The survivability difference between Western and Russian is insane.
Yeah.
And that's
The way that
that's
Soviet
the thing a lot of-
MBTs were designed is that they were designed that they were or they made them as small as physically possible, so that you would likely
Try
not be
and-
able to hit them.
Yeah.
Or it basically was the try not to get hit,
Yeah,
which
but also-
has sort of become is starting to become a thing with all tanks. It's a lot easier to just not get hit in the first place. I know, right? Shocker. Don't
Yeah.
get shot. You might live. But yeah, Western MBTs have a higher survivability compared to Soviet tanks, and
Don't-
I guess Russian because you know. And in the case of especially the Abrams and the Abrams especially, if the ammunition is hit,
It's got
It
blowout
won't-
panel.
there is a
kill
very
the
high
entire-
likelihood that it won't kill the crew.
Yeah.
It might under very specific instances, like the door being open or the door being compromised.
Okay, can I also say something
that-
about this? They're gonna
but that
have
is, like-
concussions.
Oh yeah, they're
Oh
gonna have
yeah, no, they're not gonna. They're definitely not gonna be happy
Not
about the
gonna
fact that
get
their ammunition just
unscathed,
fucking
but-
exploded.
A Y
But
is much
A
better than
TBI
having
is
a-
better than being the statistic on a casualty list. I'll be honest with
Yeah, it's better
than
to be
being
back
on
home
Oryx.
with the Y than with a
The-
damage to him than not
this is-
being able
this
to
is the
get
thing
home
that-
at all.
This was the thing I was trying to get through my dad's head last time I was talking Ukraine war with him. Was he was going, but the Russians can make so many more of them. I'm like, they can't because all their industrial factories and shit that,
He's in
that
Ukraine.
gave them that. Yeah, that gave them that might in
Yeah.
World War II is in fucking Ukraine.
Plus,
Well, not even. Well, a lot of the World
even
War
if
II
they
stuff
can
was
replace
Lend-Lease
tanks,
and over in the
crews are
Urals.
much less
But when the
replaceable.
war came to an end, they moved that shit back, and a lot of that was over in Ukraine and Belarus. Russia relied, or the Soviet Union relied heavily on its member states. And so when the
Yeah.
Union collapsed, it lost about half of its population and about half of its industry, and a lot of the stuff that was still within Russia got privatized and sold off under Yeltsin.
Yeltsin, yeah.
reforms.
Yeah, and the reforms, which is also why they apparently they think the Russians have been using
They
old maps because
Pre-
they've been
World War
hitting schools and things. But they're like, wait, hang on, they've been hitting schools and things where factories used to be.
Mm.
they
Which
hit
is
a,
like-
they hit an oil refinery.
Wait,
Well,
Well, now the Americans have a reason to get mad. Someone touched oil.
someone hit
Six-
oil.
6 hours ago, drones have attacked the oil refinery and ethanol plant in Bertolovkina, Voronezh region.
Okay, so
yeah,
wait, have the
this
Ukrainians hit it or the Russians? Sorry,
Ukrainians
I don't
hit
know
it.
my
It's in
Russian
it's
here.
in Russia. Ukrainians
Okay.
hit it.
Oh,
But
okay.
thing
Gazprom's
is-
been hit.
And they
Has-
also hit an
Peaceful
oil
guys.
refinery in Leningrad.
Ooh.
Even
In
if
St.
the
Petersburg,
Steelers
not
hit this one-
Leningrad, but okay.
Live UA has it listed as Leningrad.
Look,
Okay, that's just fucking funny.
yeah, second
Yeah.
second battle of Stalingrad. Here we go.
Second battle.
But-
Well, we're
Another
already
thing
having
I
the
wa-
second battle of Kursk. I wonder how that's going, by the way.
Ukraine
Also,
Ukraine
I
is
would
pushing
like to
again.
mention another thing.
Oh, the Ukrainians are back at it? Are they
Yeah,
winning?
and
Are they losing?
they're taking land, but they're also abandoning weaker positions.
So they're trading. Okay, so they're trading less advantageous crap for hopefully better crap.
Yes, and then they're
Yeah.
also
So-
actively committing an encirclement near the because the Russians have overextended them from their push from Avdiivka.
Huh.
They've
another
overextended
thing I
themselves,
would
and they're
like to
now
mention
conducting an
is-
encirclement in the city of Torrance.
Even as much as they would like to act,
Wait, the Russians are being encircled, or are the
Yes.
Ukrainians
The
being?
Russians
encircled?
are being
Okay.
encircled.
Can we
Another
accuse
thing
the
I would-
Ukrainians of XP farming and the Russians of death warring?
I mean,
Guys, can we ban Putin? He's death warring. Can we
I
ban
offer.
Zelensky? He's XP
I have said,
farming.
if you check the general chat, I'm offering a Hoy game after this to live. So who wants to play?
No, I'm not playing Hoi 4. I have
I don't
2,500.
Mm,
I have over
Might,
2,500
depends on
hours in
how
the game,
good.
and I really I don't want to add
But they
more
just
to it.
released a new DLC.
Oh, great! Is it any good?
wait, is this the
I'm not
DLC
at liberty to say.
that that the funny Australian man was playing?
Which one?
He was playing it was like a more modern take on the.
They added like Burma. The Middle East now has trees. Well, at least half of them do.
Yeah. another
Great.
thing
So
I would
it's
like to
another
point
battle of the
out was
Bosphorus.
Russian tank
Yes.
officers
DLC.
Crew.
Yeah.
It's Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, and the Raj.
Is that any gameplay changes?
We need to wrap this mess up and
Not
then get on with
really.
whatever else we're doing later. So
No? Okay, well then I have no reason to buy the DLC, because I usually play modded Hoi 4 in, like, different... Like, I usually play things like Old World Blues, Millennium Dawn, or the Cold War mod. They really need to update the Cold War mod.
are we wrapping this up or not?
I think we're gonna be wrapping this up.
Oh, we're wrapping it up in a bow tie and calling it God's abomination to the world?
I think we
Grumbo,
are.
did you see the?
I think so.
Did you see the thing I pinged you? in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, if that's the case, then
I got other. I do got other shit to do tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would also like to do some other things, but
Alright, so, in
Thanks for having me
summary,
on,
I was
guys.
not the first reason to get this stream smited off the planet, off the face of the earth.
Saddleback.
Sorry.
That's
I was
incredibly
third.
disappointing.
That was incredibly. You were trying to speedrun that shit, and Saddleback went no.
Not even, I was actually trying not to speedrun that shit, and somehow managed to succeed. I don't know if I should be
Congratulations.
proud about myself, or if I should be disappointed.
Everybody
Honestly,
should
I-
be disappointed.
be
with that.
fucking proud of
Honestly,
yourself.
I'm proud of the fact that my reason for potentially getting it nuked is that I was talking about how to make chemical weapons.
Don't make chemical
Somehow mine
weapons.
was
I
worse.
did
Don't
Make, I don't know,
Good.
cookies or something. Be a normal person.
I am gonna
No,
be
what?
chopping
No,
this part of the video
no,
and
it's
making
someone-
it the
No, you
disclaimer of
fucking
it.
cringe.
No, I am going to continue stockpiling styrofoam.
Y'all have fun.
Alright.
can-
Look,
I
if
can
someone
the other
somehow watches this
I
mess
have no idea where
all the
fuck
way
we're going with
through,
this.
you're a fucking
I'm
nerd.
out.
Alright,
Okay,
don't
bye.
insult me,
Have
the
a
person who
nice
wants to
night,
edit
you
this
guys.
down tomorrow.
You're a nerd because you came up with this.
And oh,
This
and,
is your fault.
oh, we got someone who said I did. Somebody watched this all the way through on Twitch.
Nice.
Well, you're a
soul.
massive fucking
You
nerd,
poor
and you
Alright.
really need to find a better.
Night,
As
fuck.
someone
Alright,
who has now
who's-
sat here for over an
Who's
hour
right?
ranting
I'm
about
just-
dumb shit, you really need to find a better hobby.
I'm just
Trust me.
about to say,
Off
sir.
to hang.
Off to hang. Oh, he's
I mean-
gone. He went to hang.
He's dead.
Yeah.
Well, my leg socket is angry at me, and I've just been staring at Tarkov for a minute because I just got out of a raid.
Well, that's your fault. I'm just glad. I'm just proud that I came up with something worse than making chemical
Yeah,
weapons.
you managed to do the racism. What the hell?
What the hell?
The Kiwi managed to do it.
That's not your job. You're supposed to be like, I don't know, filming the Hobbits or something.
All right, I'm
That's
ending
not
it here.
what you
Bye, guys.
do.